All right, thank you guys. We are 10-1 in our last 11 college basketball tier package picks on BrockPage.com. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. We're also 10-1 with a push in our last 12 extra daily picks on that very same webpage. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We currently have over 905 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you find yourself enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you want to connect with me on a daily basis, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well and join the Brock Page family. And with that, guys, USC takes on Florida Gulf Coast, 6 p.m. Eastern start time. The USC Trojans are minus 12.5, totals 141. The 2-0 Trojans had a real nice win on Saturday over Temple. They put up 76 points on the Owls in that victory. Boogie Ellis is averaging 15.5 points a night this year, 3.5 assists and 2 blocks a game for Boog. Meanwhile, Chavez Goodwin is scoring 13.5 points a game along with 7 boards. They're taking on a Florida Gulf Coast team who allowed 89 points to Loyola in their most recent outing. I think USC should be able to get the job done against the number here, although I do think this is a game that has potential to be a bit of a track meet. Probably going to be a fun game to watch here. I'm going to lean toward USC minus 12.5 over 141. Next matchup, Miami Hurricanes taking on Florida Atlantic, 6 o'clock East. Miami's minus 6.5, totals 145. And speaking of the total in this one, 4 out of these teams' last 7 head-to-head meetings with each other got over the posted number. Miami's most recent outing with UCF also got over the line. Meanwhile, Florida Atlantic on the other side, they saw their season opener with New Mexico get over the posted total themselves. And when it comes to picking a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my college basketball tier package pick on BrockPage.com. So if you want to see whether I'm laying the points with Miami or if I'm betting on FAU plus the points, there's only one way to find out, and that is to sign up for my college basketball tier package pick on BrockPage.com. But as far as making a free pick for this game right here on this video, I'm going to lean toward the over 145 in that contest. Next matchup, Creighton versus Nebraska, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Nebraska's minus 3.5, totals 146. But despite being favored in this one, the 1-1 Cornhuskers have failed to cover the point spread in both of their contests this season. As a matter of fact, one of those failures to cover was an outright loss to Western Illinois. The Cornhuskers are shooting just 21% from beyond the arc this year. They're also connecting on just 39% of their field goals. They're taking on a 2-0 Creighton team who's allowing just 60 points a game. The Blue Jays are also holding their opponents to just 24% shooting from downtown. Now, scoring-wise, Alex O'Connell's averaging 16.5 points a night, 7 boards, 3 steals a game for the guard. Meanwhile, RJ Nembhard is scoring 13 points a game, along with 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Creighton is holding their opponents to just 32% shooting from the field as well. Now, total-wise, Creighton's most recent contest with Kennesaw State fell 53 points below the posted number. Meanwhile, Nebraska's 2-0 to the under thus far in the season themselves. I'm going to lean toward Creighton plus 3.5, under 146. Next matchup, Virginia, Houston, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Houston's minus 5.5, totals 119. Houston's 2-0 thus far in the season, victories over Rice and Hofstra. The Cougs are allowing just 60 points a game, and they're holding their opponents to just 27% shooting from beyond the arc. Now, scoring-wise, Marcus Sasser's averaging 25.5 points a night, along with 4 boards, 4 assists. Sasser's also making nearly 45% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Kyler Edwards is scoring 14 points a game himself, 8 rebounds, couple assists for Edwards. The Cougs are averaging 81 points per contest. They're taking on a Virginia team who lost their season opener to Navy. The Cavaliers are scoring just 65 points a game. They're allowing their opponents to make 42% of their three-pointers against them. Now, total-wise, Virginia's 2-0 to the over thus far in the year. Meanwhile, Houston saw their opener with Hofstra get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Houston minus 5.5 over 119. Next matchup, it is going to be Seton Hall versus Michigan, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Michigan's minus 8, totals 137.5. Despite their 2-0 record, the Wolverines failed to cover the point spread in their opener against Buffalo. They actually allowed 76 points in that contest against the Bulls. They're taking on a 2-0 Seton Hall team who successfully covered the point spread in both of their victories this year. Now, the Pirates have been lights out offensively, very impressive on the offensive end of the court. They're scoring 87 points a game, and they're shooting 44% from downtown. Miles Cale is scoring 13 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, couple assists for the senior. Cale is also averaging 3 steals a game defensively. Meanwhile, Tyrese Samuel scoring 13 points a game along with double-digit rebounds. Now defensively, Seton Hall's holding their opponents to just 11% shooting from three-land, and they're also leading the country in defensive field goal percentage. Now total-wise, Seton Hall's 2-0 to the under on the season. Michigan saw their last outing with Prairie View fall under the total themselves. I'm going to lean towards Seton Hall plus 8, under 137.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It is going to be BYU versus Oregon, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Now, this game's at the Moda Center in Portland. The Oregon Ducks are minus 4.5, totals 141. The 2-0 Ducks are scoring 85 points a game. Will Richardson scoring 19 points a night, 3 rebounds, 2 assists for the senior. Richardson's also drilling 62% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Jacob Young is averaging 16 points a game along with 3 boards, couple assists. Young is making 43% of his three-pointers himself. Now defensively, the Ducks are holding their opponents to just 31% shooting from beyond the arc. They're taking on a BYU team who's actually been little threat shooting the 3-ball themselves. The Cougs are shooting just 24% from beyond the arc this year. BYU also failed to cover the point spread in their season opener against Cleveland State. Now, total-wise, BYU's 2-0 to the under thus far in the year. Oregon saw their season opener with Texas Southern fall under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Oregon Ducks minus 4.5, under 141. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 10-1 in our last 11 college basketball tier package picks. I like USC minus 12.5 over 141. I'm also leaning toward the over 145 in the Miami-FAU contest. Give me Creighton plus 3.5 under 146. I like Houston minus 5.5 over 119. I'm also leaning towards Seton Hall plus 8 under 137.5. Give me Oregon minus 4.5 under 141. And as far as all the other games go, we're going to make a quick pick on those as well. Give me Oklahoma State minus 17 under 136. IUPUI plus 1 over 131. I'm also leaning toward Villanova minus 28 over 141. Give me Cincinnati minus 22 under 131. I like Austin Peay plus 7.5 over 148. Give me Northeastern minus 4.5 under 133. I'm also leaning toward Colgate minus 11 over 149.5. Give me Duke minus 19 over 142 and a hook. I'm leaning toward Richmond minus 7 over 148.5. I also like Hampton plus 8 under 141 and a hook. Next contest here, I am leaning toward Iona minus 6.5 under 145. Give me the UCF Knights minus 18 over 137. I like Troy plus 5 under 133. I also like Eastern Kentucky minus 3.5 over 158. Give me the Penn Quakers minus 9 over 152. I also like the Lehigh Mountain Hawks plus 9 under 145.5. Give me Kentucky minus 25.5 over 133. I also like Rutgers minus 19 over 129. I'm leaning toward the Georgia Bulldogs minus 22 over 145. I also like Chattanooga minus 13 over 136 and a hook. I like the Pitt Panthers minus 7 under 137.5. I also like William and Mary plus 4 over 138. Give me Winthrop minus 6.5 over 140. Give me Wright State plus 16 over 148.5. I like Siena plus 3.5 under 136. Give me Alabama minus 21 over 148.5. I'm also leaning toward Abilene Christian minus 2.5 under 135. I like Iowa State minus 19 over 141. I'm also leaning toward NC State minus 26 over 141.5. Give me Chicago State plus 33 under 141. I'm also leaning toward Notre Dame minus 21 over 140.5. Give me Murray State minus 6 under 138. I'm also leaning toward New Orleans plus 20.5 over 144. I like the St. Louis Billikens plus 10.5 over 143. I am also leaning toward the Rice Owls minus 12 over 143.5. Give me Wichita State minus 14 under 127 and a hook. Give me Georgetown minus 13.5 under 140. I also like Denver plus 10.5 over 141. I'm leaning toward the UNC Tar Heels minus 12.5 over 161. I also like Santa Clara plus 2 over 151. Give me the Iowa Hawkeyes minus 29 over 147. I also like North Dakota State plus 16.5 over 140. Give me Jackson State plus 8 under 139. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 10-1 in our last 11 college basketball tier package picks on BrockPage.com. We're also 10-1 with a push in our last 12 extra daily picks on that very same website. I'm going to lean toward George Washington plus 3 over 145.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Daniel Jr., who said the other day, "Let's go, Big Brock. You are rocking out." All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on that website, you are going to get access to that content all the way through the end of November. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at BrockPage.com.